Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. You guys have responded to my Hasbro video in full force, and today I want to read some of the comments, so let's talk about it. If Saturday morning cartoons fueled your imagination as a kid and powers your action figure collecting, hi, and welcome to Saturday Morning Toy Collector. And if you like my content, please consider subscribing. First and foremost, before we get started, I just want to say thank you. You guys have responded so incredibly to that last video. I just can't thank you enough. There were great comments. There were some middle of the road comments. And then there were some comments that just, told me I was an idiot and I don't know what I'm talking about, or lambasted me for my, I guess, fence sitting. Whatever your take on it, you're welcome to your opinion. I super appreciate you coming all this way, watching some of the video and leaving me a comment, no matter what it was. I got almost 100 new subs overnight, which was insane. And that put me over the 2,000 subscriber mark. So congratulations to you guys for doing that, for helping us reach this new milestone. That's absolutely incredible. I do want to do a giveaway now that we've hit 2,000 subscribers, but I've already got my videos planned out for the next 2 weeks. And I've got my top 10 figures of 2023 video that I'm still working on. And so I'm going to be pretty busy. Plus, I'm going to be taking about a week off the day after Christmas. We're going to be going out of town. So I'll have some videos scheduled to go up through the rest of the year. But if you guys just give me some time and let's get into the new year, get past the holidays, I will do a giveaway. I've got some really cool stuff that I've been kind of squirreling away just for this particular thing. And we'll probably do like a wheel of names and, that sort of stuff. And we'll give some stuff away. So thank you guys so much. Whether you subscribe to me to see how stupid I am, or if you subscribe to me because you like what I'm talking about, whatever the case is, I super appreciate it. So you guys left some really awesome comments. There were some brilliant comments, some things that I didn't even think about, some things I forgot about. And I just picked out a few that I wanted to go over and read and talk to you guys about, because these kind of showcase some of my shortcomings and my misunderstanding of some of the stuff that's going on. So I just want to read this very first one here from Chris23513. It says, I do believe one of the reasons why small boutique toy companies can sell their action figures at a more reasonable price is because they are privately held and don't have stockholders to account to. And that is absolutely correct. That's something that I failed to really dive into a lot in the video. And Chris is absolutely correct. Hasbro has stockholders. They have, people that they have to answer to. They've got margins and things that they need to hit. And these are the people that are helping drive these decisions. And that's why you have these smaller boutique companies like Mezco or Four Horsemen or NECA, that doesn't have a board, that doesn't have stockholders, that's not privately, traded or publicly traded, that they have to answer to. And therefore they can, do what they want to do. McFarland is another one that is able to do this. And that is why those companies are succeeding where Hasbro is failing, is because they don't have that constituency to answer to. And that's something that I failed to point out, and that's a really good point. So thank you, Chris, for making it in the comments down below. Scotty C133, but if everyone decides to cut back or even stop supporting Hasbro, then they'll make less money and have to lay off even more people. It is a lose-lose situation. Scotty C is absolutely correct. That's a very valid point. And here I am saying I'm going to cut back and I'm going to not boycott, but I'm going to cut back and spend less money with Hasbro. And I think he's right. I think that it is a domino effect there. You know, if enough people decide to do this, and we already know that, and this was a point I made in the video, that the adult collector market is a very small audience compared to Hasbro. We think of Hasbro as toy collectors. We think of G.I. Joe, Transformers, Power Rangers, Star Wars. That's what we think of. But Hasbro is a toy company. They have all these board games and all these other toys and electronics and things that they put out, and they are there for the masses. They're there for the kids. They're there for, you know, this particular time of year. That's what they're for. Like we are just a very small drop in their overall budget, and that's probably why they don't really care what we think. But this is a really good point. If we do stop supporting them, then even more people could be laid off. It could hurt their bottom line even more. They may stop putting more money into these brands that we love. That is all a very real possibility. But I like to think, since we are such a small drop in the bucket in their overall sales, that I'm not sure that it would affect their overall success in the end. I don't think it would make that big of they would take that big of a hit. But I do think that it could eventually trickle down into less budget being diverted into G.I. Joe or Star Wars or Transformers or whatever. That's all a very valid point, and I thank you, Scotty C, for pointing that out. Russell Hammond 7943. Unfortunately, it's not like Hasbro. It's not just Hasbro, but most corporations, because of the fiscal financial calendar. Hasbro is an openly traded company on the market. Shares help drive the need to reduce operating expenses before the fiscal calendar ends. And also, CEOs are paid by their contracts at that level, and their pay structure is completely different. They get paid based on the contract they were negotiated. The CEO's job is to keep the business running and produce revenue. The root cause is not just Hasbro, but the ridiculous rate hikes from the Fed. The unit price needs to come down due to that hike. Hasbro's volume is not based on the collectors, but rather the volume from purchases for the children. We just talked about that. That's absolutely correct. Macroeconomic conditions have a larger impact globally. And no, I don't work for Hasbro, but another collector impacted by the increased interest rates and prices not swinging back to follow it. And he's right. All very valid points that we need to take in consideration here. Yes, I was not trying to make a correlation between slumping sales and Chris Cox's raise in his contract. Yes, he has a negotiated contract that he will get, X amount of dollars each year unless he is fired, and then he gets a severance package and that buyout and all that kind of stuff. But yes, that's absolutely correct. And I didn't mean to correlate one to the other if I did that. But yes, Russell Hammond made some very valid points. I thought it was a strong comment, and I wanted to share it with you guys to get your thoughts on it. Let's see, MTCD BD4FT. That sounds like a made up name. Voting with your wallet against their business practices will require you to cancel pre-orders and stop buying, promoting, hyping their products. Saying that you'll only be buying the things that they make that you want really isn't anything different. Again, a very valid point. I even said in my last video that I was being very hypocritical because I continue to buy their products, but I understand that. The answer to this, MTCD, would be for me to stop buying Hasbro products cold turkey, like saying from this point on I will not buy another product. And that's just not something that I'm prepared to do. I could come on here and tell you guys that I'm going to do that, but it wouldn't be the truth. It would be a lie. And I have no reason to lie to you guys. You would be able to see the products showing up on the shelves behind me. You're absolutely correct. That would be what I would need to do in order to be fully behind what I'm suggesting. But I even said in my other video that I do plan on continuing to buy some Hasbro products here and there because I am a collector. I do value my collection. I do value the stuff on my shelf. And there are some things that I do want. Like I said in my video, I was not calling for a boycott of Hasbro. I am just simply saying, speak up with your wallet and, do what makes you feel morally or consciously better about your spending habits and about your collection. I would never dictate to somebody what to do with their money or their collection. A collection is a very personal thing. It's a reflection of us. And you're absolutely correct. I should do that. If I was calling for a boycott, then that's exactly what I should do. But I'm not calling for a boycott. I'm just saying that me personally, what I feel more comfortable doing is pulling some of my money back from this company because of their business practices, because of the rising prices and the lower quantity of things that we're getting, or the lower quality of the things that we're getting. Also, it says stop promoting and hyping their products. I'm not promoting them or hyping their products. I do videos and I talk about what I like and what I don't like. So I'm certainly not provided any toys. To this date, I've only ever been given one free toy to review, and I haven't even reviewed that yet. That'll be coming in the new year, and you'll be well aware of it because I will say that this figure was provided. But I am not nearly in that position. But the way you guys are subscribing, I may be in the future. So, again, thank you, MTCD, for your comment. I really appreciate it. Daylin 1985, insightful. I had forgotten about licensing fees. Nice glasses, by the way. Subscribe to this day. I only picked this because somebody happened to notice my glasses. Actually, 2 comments talked about my glasses. So just to let you guys know, I buy my glasses from a place called Pair Eyewear, where you actually buy the frames and your prescription lenses, and then you can get these really nifty, like magnetized little frame covers that pop over on the top. I have tons of different frames. I change them out every day because I like change. Somebody else commented. I didn't pull the comment because I didn't know what to do with it, but somebody else said, I knew exactly what your opinion was going to be the moment I saw your glasses. I have no idea what that means. I don't know what to do with it, but I'm going to take it as a compliment. So since I had a comment about the glasses, that's why I pulled. Thank you, Daylin 1985. I really appreciate it. Robert Dickinson 9319. Some points, and I'm not trying to defend Hasbro. He made some really good points here, so let's go over it. Expecting Hasbro or any Fortune 500 company to care about their employees only works up until the point they start costing the company money. Hasbro needs these employees gone to start the fiscal year 2024, which does start in January. Maybe he has some insight into Hasbro's fiscal calendar. I don't know. Like I said before, not all fiscal calendars go with the calendar year. They just don't. Unfortunately for the employees, that means if Christmas time for the layoffs, we should not be surprised that Hasbro is not concerned about it. It's not a nice thing to do, but from a financial perspective, it makes sense. Absolutely true. Like I said before, a business is a business. Hasbro is a business. They're here to make money, not make us happy. Whatever. He's absolutely correct. Companies actually do want to make their customers happy. Hey, nice segue. As it means they will be more likely to come back and buy more. While they may take advantage of us as a consumer, it serves no fiscal purpose for them to piss us off, ignore us, or give crappy customer service. They can't please everyone, but they do try to balance the needs of the business with the wants of the customers. Fiscal purposes for them. Let's see. Do what's best for the customers. I kind of agree with this, but I also kind of disagree with this at the same time. The number one fast food chain in the world is McDonald's, and McDonald's has probably not only the worst fast food out there, but they also have the worst customer service. They don't care if they get your order right. They don't care if they talk to you. They don't care how you're treated. They don't care what the place looks like. I know this from experience. That's why I don't go to McDonald's. Walmart is another company. They're probably one of the largest retailers in the world. They don't pay, like McDonald's, they don't pay their employees very well. They don't care about customer service. They don't care about the products that are on the shelves or how the store looks or any of that kind of stuff. Maybe it's just where I live. Maybe it's just my experiences with Walmart. But I think Walmart and McDonald's are these companies that are the largest in the world because they literally don't care about your experience at all. It is literally bottom dollar, lowest common denominator. And that's just how I feel about those companies. I'm not saying Hasbro is like that. I am just saying that I disagree with this comment in some points, that you can be the biggest, the largest in the world and still, I mean, clearly it shows in how they present to you. You know, there's this famous quote that when somebody shows you who they really are, believe them. And that's how I feel about McDonald's and Walmart. And so, yes, it is true that companies would prefer you to be happy and they want you to be happy with their product. Not all companies really care whether or not you like their product, because they're the biggest in the world and they can be, and they can do whatever they want. I disagree with your thought that people higher up than the brand teams make the decisions on what is produced, what goes on the shelves, and what's going to come with the figures. The CEO did not decide to make Jango Fett a deluxe figure. The CFO did not come up with the Velocitron Transformers collection. No one on the board of directors decided that the Morgan Elsbeth vintage collection figure should not come with any accessories. The brand teams get sales and cost budgets, have the discussions with their vendors on exclusives, sales footage, etc. They talk with the IP holders on the direction of the license. Yes, there are guardrails, but I firmly believe that the brand teams have far more control over what happens with these lines than you think. Absolutely correct. Couldn't agree with you more. You're absolutely correct. The CEO, the CFO are not making these like low-level decisions. You're absolutely correct. They do dictate what budgets that that line gets. They may make those decisions higher up, but you're right. The brand teams are the ones who are responsible. But I just think that, you know, the IP holders, Disney here in this regard, when it comes to like Marvel or Star Wars, they do have some sort of say of what goes into the line. They do have some, like he said, there's guardrails. You know, they're given parameters of what they can do and what they can't do. You're right. One of the things that pops into my mind is like when Hasbro did the very first line of Black Series figures for Star Wars The Force Awakens. They looked at the characters that were given to them by Disney, and they randomly picked, you know, Constable Zuvio and said, oh, that guy looks cool, let's make that. Disney did not say, let's make Constable Zuvio. Disney would have known, dude's barely in one scene. There's no reason for him to have an action figure. Hasbro made that decision. Somebody said, oh, he looks cool, let's make him. Not knowing whether or not he was going to be a big deal or not. Clearly he wasn't. And clearly that's why there's a Walgreens right down the road from me who still has him sitting on shelf for regular price. I kid you not. I agree about the effects of Disney tax, but I'm not sure what Hasbro can do about it. They don't have any leverage. Another vendor would probably happily pick up Marvel or Star Wars if Hasbro said no to Disney. What would you like Hasbro to do? That's a very valid point. Hasbro, you know, has the Star Wars license. I'm sure other companies like Super 7 or Mezco or NECA or McFarland, any of these companies would love to have the Star Wars license. It's probably the biggest license in the world when it comes to merchandise. So yeah, you're right. You know, what would I like Hasbro to do? I would like for them to put as much care into the Star Wars, the Black Series line as they do their G.I. Joe classified series line. That's what I would like Hasbro to do. Hasbro is now faced with multiple issues, an aging customer base that is getting financially tapped out. Vendors, Walmart and Target, can't manage their inventory processes. The fact that they have pushed the pricing to what I believe is the max most of their customers are willing to pay, and licensing have failed to sustain customer enthusiasm. Marvel, Star Wars, and frankly, even G.I. Joe. They have no significant categories to balance out the portfolio like Mattel does, but like Barbie and Hot Wheels, I think Hasbro will be facing some tough times in the years ahead. Again, a very valid point. We, you know, collectors, you know, that grew up in the 80s like myself, that nostalgia is only going to push us so far before we age out. I'm 47. I don't know at what point I'll stop collecting action figures, but I am pretty sure it may be in the next 10 years. So I will be aging out of collecting action figures. And crap, that makes me think, what am I going to do with all this stuff? Woo! Anxiety. Let me have a sip of coffee. I don't want to think about having to get rid of this stuff, but that's a very valid point. We're going to be aging out. Then they're going to have to be worrying about the nostalgia of the people who were born in the 90s and then producing stuff for that. Then the people in the early 2000s and then producing stuff for that. So it's going to be this always moving goalpost that Hasbro and all toy companies are going to be facing. But a very valid point. Thank you, Robert Dickinson 9319, for your very insightful points. I really appreciate it. Somebody said, okay, here we have EDZIM Edzim 10. You didn't even get into it with the Power Rangers brand. Came with lots of accessories, but was filled with QC issues and was never fixed until they killed the line. I don't know a lot about Power Rangers. I have a very small Power Rangers collection. Over the summer, you guys know I did some Power Ranger reviews. I really like the Lightning Collection line. I still haven't received some of my remastered figures yet. I'm still waiting on the red and green Rangers to be delivered. Did I get the pink Ranger? I don't think I have the pink Ranger yet either. But yeah, so you're right. Yeah. I don't even know if Hasbro finished all of the different teams. So yeah, that was another one I think maybe Hasbro dropped the ball on with the Power Rangers line. But yes, you are correct. I did forget to mention them. And thank you for that comment. I really appreciate it. So Zufalax said, so your answer to the layoffs is to buy less. So I'm going to go out on a limb and guess that you haven't pulled the thread that connecting that to the less money equals less jobs box connected to the end of that. Thank you for this comment. I appreciate it. You are correct that when you buy less, then that could affect, the number of people that work there, the quality. You are correct. But again, I'm going to go ahead and repeat this because it's so true. Adult collectors are a drop in the bucket. We're like 1% of their budget, of their customer base. We just don't factor in for them. And I just made up that 1%. I don't know. I remember that Scott Knightlick, the toy guru, made this point very clearly because he worked on the He-Man Masters of the Universe Classics at Mattel. And he was very clear that knowing, the way that toy stores, both online and retail, base what goes into the aisles, it's not based on adult collectors. We are a drop in the bucket compared to their other toy sales. So do I think that less money spent is going to equal less jobs for them? I don't think so in the line that I'm speaking about, in the adult collector line, your Black Series, your G.I. Joe. I don't know how it would probably more likely affect the amount of money that they get to produce figures next year. It would probably more likely equal less figures than less jobs. That's just my thought. I don't know. I don't work in this business, so I don't know. But thank you, Zufalax, for, if I'm saying your name right, for the comment. I appreciate it. Yervy1A says, you forgot McFarland. I didn't forget McFarland. I didn't mention them. But that doesn't mean I didn't forget about them. McFarland is a completely and wholly magical company that I do not understand how they make things work the way that they do. I don't really get it. Now, I do know that McFarland does not have a board of directors. They don't have stockholders that they have to appease. Really, I think Todd is like the top of the food chain there, and he makes these decisions. I think he is solely, I think he helps these teams that he has make the decisions on what's going to happen and, the accessories and stuff that they're going to come with, what figures they're going to make. I know there's guardrails. I know that DC says their figures can't come with guns and things like that. But McFarland can do what McFarland is going to do. I mean, I don't know how he produces the numbers. I don't know how he gets product to market so quickly. I don't know if he's got secret US-based manufacturing facilities or if all these figures are coming from China. I don't know where they're coming from, but he gets figures to market en masse and at a low price point. It's magic. I don't know how he does it. It's black magic. I do know that for the most part, the figures don't hold their value that well. I know that in the fall, I sold probably about 40 to 45 McFarland DC Multiverse figures and on eBay, and they averaged about $3 to $4 each when I was paying about $20 each for them. So yes, they're magical. They do great. I still buy one or two if it's a Batman that I really want here or there, but other than that, I don't collect. They just don't hold their around to, I think that was the very last comment that I had, and I just wanted to thank you guys so very much again for all the comments. I'm still getting comments. I had, you know, about 15 more this morning that I didn't include in this list, just because I had already pulled these screenshots and, you know, I'd already picked out some. So thank you guys for continuing to comment on that video, and for, I think it's probably one of the most watched videos I've had so far on YouTube, which is incredible. You guys really seem to respond very well when I do these videos where I sit and I talk about companies, or I talk about the news, or, you know, action figures in general. I've just been on like autopilot and just been knocking out review after review after review. You guys know I try to do 5 reviews every day of the week. You know, put one video up each day of the week. And so I think in the new year, I'd already talked about Mondays becoming Mythic Mondays, where I spend my Monday video just talking about Mythic Legions or reviewing a Mythic Legions figure, because that's probably the most exciting toy line that I collect right now. That's the one I'm into the most. But I do think I'm going to, in the new year, also spend at least one video every week just sitting down and talking to you guys about toys, the toy industry, news that's happening, going on. It won't be like a news show, but it'll just be my thoughts on toys, because you guys seem to respond very well to that. And I want to give you guys, I want to give my customers what they want. No, I just want to give you guys, you know, what you respond to, and make this more of a community and more engaging. And I really appreciate that. So thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching. I super appreciate it. Please continue to check us out over at Instagram at Saturday Morning Toy Collector. I am your Saturday Morning Toy Collector. I'm your host, Mark, and I will see you in the toy aisles.